Hey, Jason with Coffee Crafters here, and I want to walk through a manual roast on our all-new Duo. Starts under $3,000. There won't be any edits in this. We're going to show the entire roasting process from start to finish. This is a cold roaster, so I've already got 1 pound of beans in that. 1 pound is a great starting point on a cold roaster in the Duo. The first feature that I want to show is our AirSense safety feature. So when you have the system power on and you flip the heat switch on, notice that it doesn't light up, and this is unlike any of our other roasters. This heat element will not light up until it detects airflow moving through this. So I'm just gonna turn my loft up a little bit, and you'll notice that just kicked on because it now senses that there is air moving through that bed of beans. So the first thing I wanna do is establish loft. Gonna close my hood. And now I'm going to apply heat. And my roast has officially started on this. Now with the new power console, we have the concept of roasting by watts. And so I want to spend some time going over this power console. So the first thing, there are really only two numbers that matter the most. The first thing is your line voltage for that day. So we are at 239.7 and you really want to see 240 volts. So all of our roasters are electric roasters, and there's a fun correlation between the power, the voltage coming in, and the power output. That's a quadratic relationship. So that means that a small decrease in voltage leads to a larger increase in, or decrease in power output. Put another way, if your voltage is down 10% on a given day, your power is going to drop by almost 20%. So small differences in voltage make a bigger difference in power output. But in prior videos on how to roast, we would say set your heat to 6 or 7 or 8 or something like that. But now you can learn to roast by a wattage number. And so what I'm going to do on this 1 pound roast is kind of start out at about 2,500 watts of power for this. And for me personally, this is a Brazil bean that's in here. I'm gonna keep it at that level until we hit about 300 degrees. And right around 300 degrees is where dry end should happen on this. And I'll talk more about what dry end is on that. Chris, I do wanna show a few more things that don't matter as much on the power console. The first being your amperage. Now we do care about amps, and but for this particular power meter, it also uses this power factor to determine the power output. So the three things that are on the right, I essentially say your electrician might care about them, but it's not going to assist you in your roasting of coffee. This 14.5 though, that is a cumulative lifetime count of kilowatt hours that have been run through this machine. So this has like 14.5 kilowatt hours. And that means we've run it at 1,000 watts for 14 hours, or we've ran it at 14 kilowatts for 1 hour. Of course, this roaster can't go that high, but this is similar to an hour meter, but it shows how much actual heat energy has gone through this hopper for this heat chamber at any one time. All right, let's move on to our loft level on this, because our loft is very different on this roaster from others. I'm gonna open the hood so that Chris can see in here. We have this new brushless loft motor, and it is incredibly stable in its RPM. So you will run the loft for the Duo at a much lower level than you would run loft on, say, our Artisan series or our Valenta series. Instead of blasting them way up high in the air, you want to keep that as low as possible, and that helps this roaster be more efficient with its wattage. And I might even be able to go down another hair. Chris, let me show, while you're zoomed in on that, let me show a non-example. So if this was an Artisan, we'd probably recommend something more like this. I mean, where those beans are a fountain, where they're really jumping up. But with the Duo, that'll absolutely destroy your efficiency. That pumps too much air through there, and so we really want to keep that down just so that you've got movement. The loft is so much easier to control on this than our other roasters because this brushless loft motor is not specifying a voltage level. What it is specifying is an RPM for the motor. So it is RPM locked, so you're actually dialing in a very specific RPM. But it does have a different behavior from our other loft motors in that when you make a change, you're essentially giving the motor a new target RPM, and it takes about 2 seconds for the motor to find that new RPM. So it's not like an immediate change. So as you make loft changes on the Duo, I would say make those changes slowly and wait a couple of seconds, especially if you're turning the loft down. Don't just turn it down by a notch, see it in a half second, and then turn your back on that, because it might actually drop down and collapse your loft where you need to kind of re-establish that loft level. Now at this point, we've hit 315 degrees, and so now we're at a stage of the roast that we call dry end. And with dry end, you can smell it. It was kind of a grassy smell before that, and the beans were green, a greenish yellow in color. And now we're into a baking bread phase. It smells like baking bread, and the beans are now starting to take on the first color of more of a roasted color. And so at this phase in the roast, I'm going to bump our power up to about 3,000 watts. Somewhere around 3,000 watts, because this is a more challenging phase for the roaster to keep up with this. So even though we only have about a pound of beans in here, it is a cold roaster, and so 3,000 watts is going to be just about right for this. The beauty of the Duo and of this style of fluid bed roasting, it is almost impossible, as long as you have at least a pound of beans in here, it is almost impossible to truly mess up this roast. It is nearly impossible to get, but no, I would say it is impossible to get scorching on this roaster. Unless you did something crazy like put 50 grams of beans in the hopper and crank it to 10, you're not gonna be able to scorch or tip the coffee that goes into this roaster. So if you're applying like 3,000 watts of heat to 1 pound of beans, we're not hurting these beans at all. We are going with a pretty fast roast overall, but on a fluid bed roaster, you can really shorten your roast times and still get exceptional quality of coffee out of that. So we're at 350 degrees. We've got about 50 more degrees before we're gonna hit first crack. So at this point, Chris, I think we can show what we've got back behind this roaster, show the Cyclone. It's not a finished Cyclone, it's one of our prototypes, but fully functional. So this is an unfinished version of the optional Cyclone that you can add on to the Duo. And this Cyclone will work for the Duo all the way up to the Volenta 8. Super quiet. We put a new motor directly on top of this. For the Volenta 8, you'll still use a floor standing motor, but this is a nice compact unit. And this chaff collector down here, that means you're done with chaff bags. And on the Duo, you will only have to empty this thing. It's not gonna be often. It might be once a month before you have to empty this. I'll tell you, we probably put 50 pounds of coffee through this little Duo in the last 24 hours. And there's not even enough chaff that forms like an inch of chaff along the bottom of here. So we could roast hundreds of pounds of coffee, literal hundreds of pounds, before we would need to empty the chaff box on this Cyclone. But the Cyclone is a nice, compact, quiet way of collecting that chaff. It still vents to the outside. And if you already have a dust collector motor, you can buy the Cyclone without this motor. It'll work with any 4-inch dust collector Cyclone. This particular one for the Duo, you need about 350 CFM, but you could go all the way up to say 500 or even 600 CFM and it would work just fine. You probably don't want to go with a massive one that's like 1500 CFM. That's probably going to draw too much and it'll hurt the efficiency of your roast. But yeah, anything from 350 to 500 or 600 CFM, and it'll work perfectly on that. So at this point, we're at 386 degrees. We're now approaching our first crack point on this. When we listen for first crack, there are going to be some initial pops that you hear, almost like popcorn popping in a microwave. You'll hear a couple of pops that come first. That's not typically when we mark first crack. We wait until it's kind of a rolling first crack here. So I already heard 1 or 2 pops here. I'll stop talking and see if this picks up on the mic. A few more pops there. Yeah, and a few more. So now we're starting to get into this rolling first crack. And here's where, for me personally, I just turn the heat up a little bit more. And so I'm probably going to go to 3,050, maybe 3,100 watts or something like that. So when first crack happens, these beans are releasing, it's an exothermic stage, as the science people would say. There's a lot of moisture and heat energy that's being released. But in a fluid bed roaster, when that moisture gets released, there's evaporative cooling that happens. So as we sweat, as air blows across our skin and evaporates that sweat, it cools us off. And the same thing is happening in your roast chamber. So as this moisture is being released, your stainless probe, along with all the air that we're pumping through this, it'll actually register, you might see a slight decrease or at least a flattening of your temperature for about 60 to 90 seconds. And so what I do is I kind of turn that heat up for 60 to 90 seconds, and then I'll turn it back down. I just apply a little extra heat for that exothermic stage. That's just something I do. It's splitting hairs. You don't have to do it, but it's a technique that I use. And it's probably been that. So I'm going to go back down to roughly my 3,000 watts here. For this Brazil, I like just a straight medium roast, so my target temperature on this is going to be about 425. And for me, once I approach about 400 degrees on this, I'm going to taper the heat off just a little bit more. But again, that's splitting hairs. The beauty of this, and we run this with 1 pound all the way up to 2 pounds. We've just done multiple back-to-back 2-pound roasts on this. And we plugged the thermocouple into Artisan graphing software. And this roaster, if you put, say, 1.5 pounds or more, and you just turn the heat to 10 from start to finish, it produces a perfectly acceptable roast profile. So if you're the type of person that just wants to make a really great coffee without any fuss or anything to worry about, if you're putting 1.5 pounds in here and just crank it to 10, you will get really good coffee out of it. We've got, 10 or 20 pounds, maybe even 30 pounds of coffee that we've been enjoying that were done with that exact technique on this machine. And so I'm within just a few degrees here. All right, I'm at my 425. So when I'm done with this roast, I'm just going to turn the heat element off. And I leave the loft up. I just lift this up and pull it toward you, and then dump your beans as you pull the gate open on the bean cooler. And then those beans are cooling. So we've now diverted this cooling air over to this bean cooler here. We've got a spoon that we kind of use to stir that. Now you might be wondering, why did I pick this up and pull it toward me before I dumped it in? Well, because I leave my loft motor running, if you were to put your hand over it, you'll get a blast of hot air. And I'm doing it right now. It's not going to immediately, but it won't immediately burn you, but it will remind you. So just pull it toward you, dump those beans in the hopper. And at this point, if you were doing back-to-back roasts, you go ahead and load your next roast in here while this is still cooling. And in fact, You could establish your loft with that roast, close the hood, kick on the heat element, and start that next roast while this is cooling. There's plenty of suction that's still in here to pull up any dust and smoke that comes from that. So you can do concurrent roasting plus cooling in here, and that's it. That's how easy it is to roast coffee on this Duo. You just put your coffee beans in, you monitor your wattage and some of your key points like dry end, first crack, second crack if you're going that dark, and then you dump the beans and you're gonna have world-class coffee. It really is that easy to roast world-class coffee on this machine.